Let's talk about binding methods. These hot pads were bound using two different methods. This one was finished on my sewing machine, and you can see my binding stitch line going all the way around this edge. This one was finished by hand. There is not really a visible stitch line all around the edge. Let me show you how I did both of them, and then you can decide which one you want to use for your next project. I started both of these in the exact same way by using my sewing machine to attach the binding to the front of the hot pad. Then I'm going to be glue basting the one that I will finish on my sewing machine. So I press the binding away from the front and then over to the back, and then I grab a washable glue, make sure it's washable, it's okay that it's purple because it will wash out, and run some glue along the stitch line from my binding on the front, fold that binding over, and then use my iron to set it in place. I'll just repeat that on all four sides, adding clips into the corners just to make sure those are extra secure, and then take this over to my sewing machine to finish it off. To finish this binding, I'm using the stitch in the ditch method, where I do my stitching on the front, right along the edge of the binding, and it will catch the binding that I have folded over onto the back. This method can be a little bit scary at first because you can't actually see the part of the binding that you are trying to stitch down. However, as long as you covered that stitch line when you folded the binding over to the back, you will be just fine. Now moving on to our hand-bound hot pad, you could also glue baste this one, but I wanted to show a different method. So for this one, we are going to press it away from the top of the quilt, fold it over to the back, and then just use clips to hold it in place all the way around. To start the hand binding, we need to tie a quilter's knot. To do this, you pinch the end of the thread with your needle, wrap that thread around the needle a few times, and then slide all those wraps down the thread and it'll form a knot. Then we'll hide that knot by pulling it through the back of the quilt just under the binding. Now we can start ladder stitching the binding on. I'll start by sticking the needle through the very edge of the fold of the binding, and then through the backing and a little bit of the batting, and then back into the fold of the binding and back into the backing, over and over again until you go all the way around. As you're doing this, just make sure your stitching is not going all the way through to the front of the quilt. You only want it to be going through the backing and maybe catching a bit of the batting. Now that these are both bound, which binding method do you think you want to use for your next project? On the machine, we used the stitch in the ditch method to make an almost invisible stitch line on the front while attaching our binding to the back. But there is a visible stitch line on the back, as well as a little bit of a flap along the edge of our binding. However, this one only took about 5 minutes to stitch onto the back of our hot pad. Then we have the one we stitched by hand. There is no visible stitching on either side of the hot pad because our hand stitching is almost invisible around the edge. However, this method does take a lot longer, and this hot pad took about 45 minutes to stitch the binding onto the back. In the end, both of these methods have their time and place and really come down to personal preference. And it depends mostly on how you want to spend your time and how you want your finished product to look. While this one has the invisible stitch line, it is going to take quite a bit longer. But if you like this look and that's what you want, then you should definitely give hand binding a try. However, if you like this look and you want to save a little bit of your time, then machine stitching your binding is definitely the way to go.